This is Woodrow Wilson from Sabini. 10, Lord High Chancellor of Scotland. 1011 BC, Demophon, Sabinus. Numa, Lucretius, the Sabini, 983 looks like. Plinius, the Sabini. Regulus, Sergius, 7, and then to Roman Empire, like this is an Italian flag right here. Vitus, Titus, Tatius, king of the Sabines, Pomponius, Pomponi, Julia. No, this must have been in packs, and then we're like, right, this is a leader, and then the leaders know the leaders, and just started making Pomponio the second, Nigaria, Pomponius the second, Jens, or is Jens generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth, Pompel sixth, Pompel seventh, eighth, 9, Lucius Pomponius Siculus, Tatia, Lucius Pomponius Rufus II, 471, Marcus Pomponius Rufus I, 441, Marcus Pomponius Rufus II, the third, Manius Pomponius Matho the first, Manius Pomponius Matho the second, looks like the third, in 280, maybe the fourth, no, Matho the second, or third, Aulus Pomponius first, Jens generation poem, Marcus Pomponius Titus the first, Marcus Pompeius Titus the second, Metellius Quintus Calesius Titus the third, Livia Atticus, Amelia Lepida Metellus, Marcus Licinius Crassus, the Marcus Pilius, Cracia Tertulla, Titus Pomponius Atticus, Cecilia Metella, Cornelia, the richest man in Rome, 134 BC. That is so wild. And Tertulla. Titus Pomponius Stellius, Cecilia Pelea, Visania Pola of Rome, Poya, chicken, Lucius Caesar Vipsanius Agrippa, Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa, Pomponius Cecilia Attica, Lucio Lupano de Cantabria, Vistania Julia Agrippa, Audulio Cantabro, Duke Agrippina, Lupo Cantabro, Nestor, Duke, in 30, looks like AD. Zenon, first Cantabro, Duke, Conde Lope Saracinis, Doña del Durango, Carolio Cantabro, Duke de Canterbury, or Conte Zaldla de Biscay, Zenon the second Cantabro, Duke, Asturias, Duque Lupo, Sra Cantabria, Zeffirino de Cantabria, Lupo III, Antonia, Zelino the first, Sra Cantabro, Aurora, de Catabria, Zapata, Lupo the Fourth, Duque de los Cantabros. Oh, that's what it was. Not Canterbury. Ethenio, Zenon the Third, Lupo the Fifth, Stelino the Second, Noxio, Noxio, uh, Argorier the First, de Canterbury. Well, maybe it is. Now it's changed to Cantabria. Valindo, and we're going to end up dying in England. Shropshire, Duke of Cantabria, Lupo the Sixth, Amadeo de Cantabria, Duke Antimio, Duke Senon the Fourth, Duke Lucio del Palacio, Lupo the Sixth de Cantabria, Duke Hutton Andeca. This is in 701. Blois Odo, Comte de Blois, Odon, Adela de Austrasia, de Bois, Count Aubrey, Adela de Niveles, Alberic de Blois, Alberic Swift, Manfred van Eiffel, oh, it's Eiffel Tower, Feolinde von Matfried, First Graf von Eiffel, Feolinde, Manfred von Iffigau, Matfried Iffigau, Adalard de Loches, the first Alalin de Nantes, Foques de Busancay, Petronilla de Bourgon, Titulus de Anjou de Gatnay, Ingolard de Anjou, Adelaide de Umbro, Garnier, Warinus, Widon, Tessenda, Rosile de Loches, Fouquet, the first de Leroy, Roux, Methodoy de Bretagne, Alain the Second, Bearport, Polar, Rosile de Anjou, Flomitondis de Bretagne, Maud Midvania, Vlad de Bretagne, Berthock, Lord Tehel, Inoguin, Hatto Stewart, Lady Hatto Fitzflad, Uchtred of Northumbria, Ecfrida of Durham, Egal Galicia, Lulef de Lumley, Vlad Stewart, Constance de Chateaubriand, there you go, Chateaubriand, 980, Alain Stewart, Margaret Fila, Ray, here's another one, Alan Stewart, Titisanor Mac Bancrow, Northumberland, Anolf Hesden, Seneschal of Doy Thedias, you can pronounce it yourself, Emiliana Baldon, Elaine Fitzflad, Sheriff de Shopsford, Aveline Hesden, Simon Fitzallen, Alan Fitzwalter, Second High, Alesta Nick Morgan, Second High, Simon Fitzallen, Staker Fitzallen, Elizabeth Johnson, Robert de Boyd, Sir Robert Dictus de Boyd, First Laird, Evelina Fitzallen, Robert First Fleming, Sir Robert Boyd III, Malcolm Fleming, Christian Douglas, Robert Boyd V, Catherine Fleming, Sir Archibald Douglas, Beatrice de Lindsay, Sir John Montgomery IX, Laird Elizabeth Ellington, John Carrock MacDonald, Margaret Stuart, Princess of Magnus MacDonald, Lady of the Isle, Sir John Montgomery, 5th Laird, Thomas Boyd II, Margaret Douglas, Lord Thomas Boyd of Kiln, Joanna Montgomery, Sir Andrew Lyle, Lady Catherine Boyd, John Crichton. What's the author? Crichton. Michael Crichton? George Crichton. Lady Baroness Janet Borth, Lady Jeanette Crichton, Sir John Maxwell Calder, Sir Thomas G. Boyd, 5th Lord, Baroness Isabel Lyle, Robert Boyd, 1st Boyd, Mariota Janet Maxwell, Robert Muir of Rowan, Newton Margaret Newton, Archibald Boyd Nariston, Christian Muir, Robert Boyd of Bonshaw, Janet, Robert Boyd, Isabel, Thomas Boyd, Janet Caldwell, Adam Boyd, Margaret Wiley, Jane Boyd, James Breckenridge, John Breckenridge, Margaret Wiley, or Willie Wiley, Alexander Breckenridge, Janet Brown, John Breckenridge, Mary Magdalene, wow, Blaine, William Wilson. Here we go with the Wilsons. Okay, so, and then it's going to connect with the Woodrows, John Wilson, Nancy Breckenridge, James Wilson, and Margaretta. John Adams in 1763, and Mary Park, Judge James Wilson Jr., G10, Ann A. Adams, Reverend Thomas William Woodrow, Marlon Williamson, Reverend Isaac Stockton Keith Axton, Rebecca Longstreet Randolph, Reverend Nathan Hoyt, Margaret Bliss, Margaret Jane Hoyt, Reverend Samuel Edward Axton, Reverend Joseph Ruggles Wilson, and Janet E. Woodrow. Then we have President Thomas Woodrow Wilson, Ellen Louise, how far we can do, Francis Bose Sayer Sr., Senator William Gibbs McGod, Jesse Woodrow Wilson, Eleanor Randolph Wilson, Harriet Taft, Woodrow Wilson Sayer, Edith Warren Chase, Francis, Rafael Lopez Deonate, Ellen Wilson McAdoo, Donald Wilson Stockwell, Mary Faith McAdoo, Betsy Shackelford, Richard McFloyd Adu. If you have any of these last names, comment, because I don't know, like, this brokenness isn't necessarily accurate. Okay, and then we're going to go back to Alan Fitzslade, Sheriff of Shropshire, 25th. One sec. Saveline de Hesden, Walter Fitzallen, Alan Fitzwalter, Lester Morgan, Walter Stewart, Beatrice McGill Christ, Alexander Stewart, Jean McRory, John Stewart, Margaret Bonkel, James Stewart, Isabel de Graham, Robert Stewart, Catherine McDougall, John Stewart, Isabel McDougall, James Stewart, George Thomas Allen, Mary Isabel Sophia Stewart, John Allen, Jane de Leicester, George Worcester, Mary Allen Edward Worcester or Worcester, Elizabeth Gwen de Allen, William Worcester. It's probably Worcester until they got to Boston. Margaret Sawtell. Wow, look at this literal Worcester to Worcester, 1620. Was it Bristol, Rhode Island, Bristol, Mass? Anna Stiles, Elliot Tyler, Ava Bristol, Lewis Smith Tyler, Amanda Eldridge, Charles Henry Tyler. Yeah, I don't know. I've done that so many videos. Okay, and then we're doing President Thomas Woodrow Wilson. 2, 3, 2, 1. Samuel. It's his 7th cousin. Roland Stebbins, Sarah Whiting, John Stebbins, Abigail Bartlett, Thomas Stebbins, Hannah White, William Phelps, Abigail Stebbins, Samuel Stebbins, Abigail Brooks, Nathaniel Phelps, Lois Phelps, John Hitchcock, Abigail Stebbins, Elijah Alderman, Deborah Phelps, Leo, Philo Alderman, Charlotte Alderman, Nathan Hoyt.